All right, now let's head to Boston, though, where Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan is at the Cannabis conference with Stephen Hoffman, Cannabis Control Commission from Massachusetts. Alexis?
Zach, if you didn't think that cannabis was big business, you will if you come to this conference. We're in Boston. I'm with Stephen Hoffman, as you said, and he is chair of the Cannabis Control Commission for Massachusetts. Now, one of the latest states here to start recreational sales. So, Stephen, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, I've heard that Massachusetts is one of the most expensive places in the world right now to buy cannabis. Why is that?
I'm not sure. I don't know that that's actually true, but we have done, I think, a pretty good job of keeping our license fees as low as possible, our application fees as low as possible. Our tax rate, which is 20%, is kind of in the middle when you look at other states. So none of those would account for that. Massachusetts is a pretty tough cultivation environment in terms of our weather. It's not the easiest place in the world to grow. I don't think our regulations or the cost of adhering to those regulations are out of whack with other states. So I'm a little bit surprised to hear that, but I don't know the answer.
So tax rate somewhere between 17 and 20%?
Well, it's 20% broken down in three parts. There's a 6.25% state sales tax. There's 10.75% excise tax, which funds our commission and research that we're doing. And then the city or towns can, if they choose, impose a 3% sales tax on retailers that are operating in their town.
How are those tax revenues going to change things for Massachusetts?
Well, the 6.25% goes into the general sales tax fund, so who knows what happens to that. The excise tax, aside from funding our commission, as I mentioned, is going to fund research. One of the things that's interesting about this industry is that people are very passionate on all sides of the debate. There's not a lot of facts. Because of the federal prohibition, hospitals that get federal funding, universities get federal funding, can't do research. We're going to do research, and we're going to fund research for third parties. So we're going to bring some facts to bear on this debate and hopefully help everybody out. So that'll help. And then the 3% that goes to city and towns, obviously, they can use that for whatever purposes they want to in terms of economic development, in terms of better services for their citizens. So I think the taxes are all, they're going to go to good causes.
Now, Massachusetts has recently come under a little bit of fire for licensing their businesses, 100 plus licensed operators for cannabis businesses, and only one of those is a woman. It's not true.
That's not accurate. We publish these statistics on our website. We ask everybody to fill in, where they come from. Of the 100, I think it's 112 provisional licenses we issued so far, 9 are women-owned. And I'm not trying to defend that as saying that
9 are women-owned.
I'm not going to say that's not. I'm not going to say that's good enough.
Sure.
But it's not zero, and it's something that we're working very hard on. Not just women, but other, other ethnic groups, disabled people, veterans, LGBT. We have in our law a requirement that we build up an industry that looks like Massachusetts in terms of diversity, and we're committed to do so.
So what percentage of the funds that are collected through the tax revenues will be allocated towards research? What can we expect to see coming out of Massachusetts?
I would like to give you a definitive answer. As I said, there's a 10.75% excise tax that funds our commission. We're operating as cheaply and as frugally as we can, so very little of that will be used up for our commission. The legislation says there are very specific purposes for the other parts of the tax revenue, the other parts of the excise tax, but it's all subject to legislative appropriation. So at the end of the day, they're going to decide. But we are committed. We have our own research group, and we have a research agenda that includes things like, are we doing a good job of keeping this out of the hands of underage people? Are we doing a good job in terms of traffic safety? Are we doing a good job in terms of education and public awareness? So we're doing research. We have given out a research license. We've created this category which no other state has, which is a license to do research. We're not telling people what kind of research to do, but we're just giving them the legal right to possess marijuana so they can do research. And then we're collaborating with other third-party researchers. So I think there's going to be a lot that we're going to bring to the table in that
A lot of excitement, a lot of people waiting for that research, Stephen.
A lot of knowledge.
Thank you so very much for being here.
Sure, my pleasure.
Zach?
All right. Thanks so much, Alexis Keenan with Stephen Hoffman. Appreciate it from Cannabis out in Boston, Massachusetts.